Chapter 1. The Calling of Shadows. Elara sat alone in her room, her fingers tracing the edges of an old, leather-bound book. The room was dimly lit by candles placed carefully around her, casting shadows that seemed to flicker with life. Outside, the world continued its relentless pace, but within these walls time felt different. It was as though the air held a weight, heavy with something unseen, something unspoken. She was only 17, yet life had already lost its charm. The laughter of her classmates felt distant, as if it belonged to another world, one where she had never truly fit. Even her family, well-meaning but always distant, seemed like strangers to her now. They didn't understand her. No one did. That's why the occult had drawn her in. It whispered to her, offering secrets and power, things that the mundane world could never provide. Elara hadn't started with dark intentions. At first it was just a curiosity, an innocent dive into the unknown. Her friend Sarah had shown her a few basic spells from a book she found online, harmless things, like love charms and rituals for good luck. But as time passed, Elara felt a hunger for more, a thirst that couldn't be quenched by mere trinkets and symbols. She wanted real power, control over her destiny, something no one could take from her. She flipped the pages of the book, her heart quickening as her eyes fell on a spell meant to summon guidance from ancient spirits. The warnings that accompanied the spell didn't deter her. She was used to feeling alone, and if something dark answered her call, maybe it would understand her better than anyone else had. Setting the book down, she carefully laid out the items needed for the ritual: a black candle, a small vial of her own blood, and a pentagram drawn in chalk on the floor. The candle's flame flickered, casting strange shapes on the walls as she whispered the incantation. At first, nothing happened. But then a cold draft swept through the room, extinguishing the flame. For a moment, there was silence, then the shadows on the walls began to move. A chill ran down her spine as a voice, low and distant, echoed in the corners of her mind. "Elara," it whispered, drawing out her name in a slow, deliberate tone. Her breath caught in her throat. The presence she had summoned was real, but instead of fear, she felt a strange exhilaration. Finally, something had answered her. She wasn't alone anymore.